For the past few seasons, the GT Cut has proven to be one of Nike's best silhouettes. Similar to how the Kyrie was, how the PG was, it's becoming a pretty consistent model overall. Although I will say, from the 1 to the 2, there was a bit of a drop off. The 2 was kind of mid, I'm not gonna lie. Hell yeah. Shout out Jordan Poole. With that being said, the GT Cut 3 is now here, and on paper, it looks like it could be one of the top shoes to drop this year. But there's only one way to find out. We gotta test it, jerks.
What's good, YouTube? Jay Jones here, and today we're going to break down the GT Cut 3. Now, if there's one word that I could use to describe the GT Cut 3, I think that word will be reliable. It's a pretty reliable sneaker. I think it's going to be one of the most reliable sneakers to drop this year. And here's why. Starting with the traction, the multi-court, multi-directional traction pattern is very reliable, like I said, to start with. When you're hooping, you should be able to stop on the dime. You should be able to do what you need to do when you got these on court. You can see from the traction test that I didn't have many problems at all. Now, I'm not on a traditional hardwood floor. This is kind of that church. Y'all know how it was when you was a kid. You got the church league going, you got to get in the gym. This was kind of that church floor. To be fair though, I wasn't sliding. Now, I will say this is a sneaker just based off the time that I've kind of played in it and ran around in it. Again, my hand is broken, so I haven't been able to do too much. But on court, I could tell that it will collect a lot of dust. I'm seeing a little more dust on the back of the shoe than on the front. So just be mindful of that, but again, be a basketball player. What I mean by that is just be sure to wipe your sneakers as necessary. If you ain't got no defense, if you can't slide them for real, you gonna get broke off anyways. So be sure to take care of yourself, be sure to slide your feet, and you should be solid. Moving on, and the most noticeable thing about the GT Cut 3 is the full-length Zoom X cushioning. Now guys, I don't know if you're familiar with Zoom X. A lot of people have said that, you know, this is the cushioning that's found in a lot of running shoes. They decided to bring it over to the basketball shoe, and I ain't gonna lie, it was a W call. Nike, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing.
This is back to back from the AE1 to the GT Cut 3. This is two of the most comfortable shoes that I played in a long time. And I'ma just be honest about it. Like, that Zoom X to me feels exactly like Boost. And again, they kind of found it in the runner, if I'm not mistaken. That's how Boost was too. It was found in a lot of runners, and then they brought it over to basketball. This feels like the initial launch of Boost, like when they put a lot of Boost in the sneaker, and it felt great on court. It's super comfy. You can feel it right away. Like, as soon as you put your foot in the shoe, you're gonna be able to feel it. Now, this will take away from some of the court feel, of course. Like, you do get a little court feel, but I still don't think they found that balance like how the AE1 is. Like, the AE1, you still know that Boost is there, but you get the court feel. Maybe that was a Anthony Edwards preference. Here you can just feel the Zoom X underfoot, which I don't mind at all, because, you know, I like hooping in a different variety of sneakers, a different range of sneakers, and getting a different feel in the sneaker. And again, it just felt super comfortable when I was jumping and moving around like I wanted. To me, this is one of the best changes that I think Nike could have made. It's super plush, it's responsive, and I think it just won't tear down over time. When you get a new foam, you kind of don't know what to expect right out the jump. We talked about the word reliable, right? This is going to be something that should last pretty long, and I don't see it kind of fading away as you play over time. So if you're looking for a comfortable sneaker and you want to play a little higher off the ground, like, I think you got to consider this GT Cut 3 with this new Zoom X. I mess with it heavy. Now, the upper is another area that I think some of you may like as well. It kind of gives off a mesh type of vibe with these holes here that's used for ventilation, but the middle of the sneaker itself kind of comes with a softer like fabric that I think feels really good midfoot. It's still stretchy, which means it's functional. It's breathable, which also adds to that functionality, and it's lightweight, which is something that a lot of people like out of their sneakers. Now, it is $190, so I feel you. You kind of like, look, for $190, I need what's on that Bron 21. You feel me? I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that, but again, I think they found a good way to try to keep the balance here to where you still feel good with your material choice, where it's still functional, but at the same time, it's not the highest quality material at the same time. I think that price point is really coming, again, from that Zoom X. That's really what you're paying for with this sneaker, in my opinion. Now, as we talk about the fit and the lockdown, Nike has been doing a phenomenal job with the fit and lockdown, in my opinion. I have no problems here. These run true to size, and as you guys know, as I always say, if you wear a 10, hell yeah! Just be sure to get that 10, jerks. I like the padded collar that they decided to add back here, which should help your Achilles. The lacing structure I thought was nice from midfoot to heel. I'm not a huge fan of the lacing structure in the forefoot just because it kind of bulges out a little more than I like. You know what I'm saying? I kind of like things to seem a little more cohesive. Just wanted to seem a little more smooth. Again, this is not anything that should hinder like your style of play or, you know, how you feel on court when you're playing in these. But just from an aesthetic standpoint, it kind of looks a little different. But again, once you go, and I'm just being picky, you'll be good. On the flip side of that, I do like how they added Flywire. Again, we talked about this. I love the fact that Nike has brought Flywire back. The Flywire is kind of integrated with the lacing structure on the forefoot. And again, that may be why it's kind of bulging out like that. I'm a huge fan of Flywire, and I've always enjoyed seeing sneakers with Flywire because it helps with overall containment. Overall, man, if you're looking for a reliable sneaker, a sneaker that's pretty consistent, I think you have to consider the GT Cut 3. The GT Cut 1 is nice, I'm not gonna lie. I thought they took a little drop when they dropped the GT Cut 2. I wasn't really feeling that one, but the GT Cut 3, I feel like all the fundamentals to make a nice sneaker is pretty much included in this one. I mean, even from a design standpoint, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but this red and white colorway, like the way the sneaker looks, I like this little outer rigger to the back as well. I thought that was a nice little touch. I got a pair of Sacai's that's kind of similar to this, and this kind of reminds me of that. So it's a nice looking sneaker on foot, man. Again, the price could kind of be, you know, a little better price. You got the GT Cut 3, like the way that they have the little hang tag off the tongue. They didn't want to overdo it, you can tell. Like they put all the right pieces in all the right spots and said, okay, this is how we're going to make this work. I feel like sometimes, especially on the Nike side, I'm going to be honest, they kind of overcompensate and they just kind of throw a lot of things together to try to make the sneaker look good, and they kind of overdo it. Here, I feel like they tried to keep it simple. They created a nice, simple silhouette and added some Zoom X to it and said, here you go. Hey, them all details for a jerk like me, for a jerk like you. But that's it for me, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're looking for a sneaker, a reliable sneaker for, I mean, it is kind of expensive, for $190, then be sure to consider the GT Cut 3. You will find yourself comfortable. You will find yourself a bit off the ground. So, you know, not the most court feel, but super responsive cushioning setup with that Zoom X. I'm a huge fan of Zoom X. Again, if there was something to compare it to, I would compare it to Boost, like when Boost initially came out. And again, man, just overall, I think it's just a nice looking sneaker, and a sneaker that makes you feel like you're ready to go at all times. Keep showing your boy some love. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at IamJJones. Why? Because I can't get brand deals without you. There, I said it. You know what I'm saying? It helps a lot. I am giving a pair of AE1s away. If you're interested, be sure to go to neverfold.shop, buy a wristband, buy a hoodie, buy some shorts, buy whatever you want, and your name will be entered to win that. We will be giving that away beginning of February. And lastly, man, be sure to let me know what you want next. If there's any sneakers that you kind of want me to review, anything you want me to talk about, then, you know, let's get to it. Thank you guys for, you know, being around and talking through the community post with me. I always like hearing your thoughts when it's about basketball, when it's about sneakers, when it's about things that we all enjoy. So big thank you to all the members. We will be dropping new videos on that front soon. I'm just kind of backlogging a lot of food content so I could just dump it all over there so you guys can kind of see it. But, you know, we didn't went to Wingstop a couple of times. If you like them food videos, 1, 2, 3 wings, you know what I'm saying, then you're going to love some of those videos on the member side. But other than that, be sure to subscribe, man. Show your boy some love. If I'm not on here, then I'm on the Walk On channel handling the pod. And until next time, I'll see you, man. Thank you guys for being here. Jay Jones, and I'm out. Peace, jerks. I'll see you in the next one.
On the night I was born, the rain was pouring, God was crying, lightning struck, power outage, sparks was flying.